All right, let's talk about density. So this is probably a new concept. You've never really heard of it. You probably already do some of it sometimes, but you're not really aware of it. You're not really sure exactly how to manipulate it. You're not really, you don't really understand the benefits or the drawbacks. It's just, it's a more advanced concept. It's not something that you learn off the start. At the start, you're more focused on just, the tonnage that you do and, the intensity that you can do it at. So this is going to be an introduction to density. It's a nice concept. It will help you, especially once you get to a certain point. Density is going to help push you further. So what is density? So density is volume over time. So we covered volume in the last video. So volume is a total tonnage. So the total tonnage over time. So what does that mean? It means shorter periods of time between sets, basically. So you're training for time. You're adding time in as an extra variable, and you're trying to do it faster, basically. So you're cutting the rest period between your sets, or you're even muddying the length of sets in general. It might feel like one really long set sometimes. The concept of sets kind of goes out the window in some of these cases. What are the benefits? So it's a new stimulus. So anytime you add new variables, you introduce new variables, you take away other variables, it's always going to create a new stimulus to your body. It's going to create a new stress to your body, which is going to help grow you no matter what. So new stimulus, it's always going to benefit you. It's always going to help you grow further. Conditioning. So with density, you get good conditioning because you are now shortening up the period of time that you rest between your sets. So you're becoming much more well conditioned in order to handle the stress and the amount of reps and sets. Yo, before we get started in the video, my name is Beachmar. I make gym-related self-improvement videos. If that interests you, please hit the subscribe button below. Stick around for more in the future. The athletic benefits. So training density benefits athleticism a lot because in sports, you might not have 3 minutes to rest in between every time you have to make a high intensity movement. Rather, you have to do quick short bursts, and you might have to rest only like 5 or 10 seconds before making another quick short burst. This kind of training, it simulates that better compared to standard weightlifting. Fatigue management. So it comes in the territory, you're shortening up the rest period, you're building the fatigue more and more. You're not able to recover fully between each set. So your fatigue is building up. So you have to be able to manage that. You have to be able to push through that. This is very important because, a lot of people, you can tell they go to the gym, they look very huge, but you look at them or you hear them talk, and I'm listening to them talk and I'm literally breathing for them. I'm like, because it's like they're struggling to breathe while talking. That's how bad they are in terms of like their cardio, their fatigue management. They're struggling to breathe while talking. So you don't want to be like that. So training density, it'll make you so that you don't get fatigued from talking. You don't get fatigued from climbing upstairs. These kind of small things. Even though going to the gym is good, you can tell that that person puts on muscle. That person goes hard in the gym. It doesn't look good when they have trouble talking. They're like huffing and puffing while talking. You don't want to be like that. It's time efficient. If you have problems with spending too much time in the gym, a lot of people, they'll completely zone out in between a set. That you might spend, if you're the kind of person who after a set stares in the mirror, chugs some water, changes their song again, then chugs some water, then looks in the mirror again, then hits their next set. It's not time efficient. You're wasting too much time. You're not actually benefiting yourself in any way by doing this. Training density forces you to be more time efficient. This will also better your workouts in the future, as you will be able to push yourself better and manage the time between your sets better, as this is a variable that's actually very important, but a lot of us don't take into consideration. It will also shorten your workouts so that you waste less time in your day at the gym. You don't have as much downtime, you're not having as much dead time, your workouts are more intense. All right, how to do it. I'll go over some methods on how to do it very quickly. So method 1, take the same weight you do 5 sets of 10 with and do it for 10 sets of 5. So we did 5 sets of 10 in the last video with volume, but instead of doing it for 5 sets of 10, we do it for 10 sets of 5. I discovered this in the Juggernaut method, inverted. It's actually very good. It basically, you incorporate the volume just in a different manner. You invert the sets and the reps. This allows you to focus more on the reps. So your quality of reps is going to be higher because you're only doing 5 reps per set. So you're not going to be like grinding the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th rep. You're not going to like lose form or anything. It allows you to really focus and make those reps, all 5 reps, very cleanly on each set. Rest only 60 seconds between each set. Your first sets are going to be easy, of course, right? You're able to do 10 reps with this set of this weight quite easily. So 5 reps is going to be very, very easy. So your first 2-3 sets is going to be quite easy. You're going to bang those out. So don't do that and be like, wow, this program sucks. The middle sets get challenging. So as the fatigue starts to build up, you're at the 5th set, the 6th set, 7th set, it really starts to grind you down because you're not used to not being able to rest and recover fully between each set. It's a new stimulus. You're not used to working while you're still tired. Then during the last few sets, you'll feel a crazy surge of adrenaline and you can go crazy. At like the 8th, 9th, 10th set, you start getting used to pushing through the tiredness and you realize that you can do it. It's just not something that you weren't able to do before because you just never did it. But you realize that now you can do it. And so you're almost anticipating the next set. You're anticipating the next set. And then suddenly before you know it's your last set. So your last set, do as many as you can. Might as well. Go crazy. Do as many reps as you can. It's a great stimulus. It's a great way to train. I recommend this method. It's very useful and it feels really good. One more thing that this method of training also benefits is some movements, for example, so for deadlift and overhead press, it really doesn't feel good to do a set of 10 reps, especially deadlift. If your form breaks down, you start to really put your back at risk. With overhead press, I find that after I can only do really one set of more than 5 reps. If I do more than that, I have to drastically drop the weight, 40%, 30% of my 1 rep max because your shoulders just die down very fast. They're a very small muscle. They get fatigued very, very quickly. So I found that this method, doing 10 sets of 5, enables you to do all of that volume while still staying safe and keeping the reps clean. All right, method 2, train multiple times to failure within a short time frame. So this is called dog crap. I don't know why it's called that. But basically, you train a movement to failure, you rest about 30 seconds, you go to failure again, and then you rest another 30 seconds, and you do that one more time. And yeah, basically, it's a similar concept where you're not resting that long and you're going to failure a bunch of times. So it's another great way to train density. You're going to get size with this method too. I don't really do this one that much. And there's a lot of other different ways to do it. Those are just 2 examples that I gave just quickly. There's a lot of other ways to incorporate density. Basically, whenever you are building up the fatigue and you're reducing the time between your working sets, you are training density. So if you've ever done supersets where you do 2 different exercises back to back, drop sets, you drop the weight very quickly and go to do another set. Pyramids, reverse pyramids. I'm not talking about a full pyramid where you rest in between each set, but rather the ones where sometimes people will build up with lateral raises, those kind of pyramids. They'll do like a lightweight as a warm-up, then they'll build it up, then they'll build it up immediately. They're doing their sets back to back to back, then they'll go back down again. Those kind of pyramids, those kind of reverse pyramids. 7s, people do 7s like with their shoulders again. But basically, it's like you do half the movement with 7 reps, another half the movement with 7 reps, and you do the full movement with 7 reps. Circuits. So if you've ever done these methods of training, then you have trained density in some way. But now that you know more about it, think of how you can implement density to your training in the future and how it will benefit you, given the benefits and given the ways to do it. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it. Share this video to a friend that you want to train density with. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're not already. Comment your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys next time.
Put a fake chain back down, they don't know. Lock man down, man can't go home. Outside pulling them mans on the east side, pulling up deep, pulling up to the show. I'm busting out rhyme, tell them what I say. Come outside, pull up on a day. Young boy, little man, too small, can't fit, way too low.